Hey everybody, it's John Myers from Write Better Together. You don't recognize either two of these people. This isn't, I've made a decision. We're just going to have a discussion. This is my big book reveal. We're not going to have the normal segments like on a normal episode. We're just going to have a discussion because some big event has happened in the last week. But let me first introduce everybody. Signe, tell everyone where you're from.
Hi, I am from Friesland, which is a northern municipality in the Netherlands.
Oh my goodness.
All the way across the big pond.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Is it snowing out there?
No, we're just northern hemisphere. It's spring, almost summer.
Oh my goodness. That's beautiful.
I know it's daylight because the sun never goes down.
Not that far north, but I'll take it.
And the other wonderful person is Mytecia. Miles.
Hello.
Tell them where you're at.
Well, currently I'm in the beautiful city of Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Oh.
So a lot of people, most people will recognize it as a metropolitan area of Nashville, Tennessee.
I've known Mytecia for 2 years, probably at least.
Yeah.
And whenever you see her, she just lights up. Like you'll see her from like 30 miles.
No
Not
way.
30 miles. From 30 feet away down at the end of the hallway. And she'll be like, John Myers. And like she's just glowing. But it's not just me because I've seen her do that with a million different people.
Oh
She's
my
just
goodness.
a ball of joy. And
I appreciate that.
And I don't know, Signe.
It's always the setting, I'm always, when we're around writers, we're around artists and just the creative space. I think that's where it's like the electricity, you get opportunity to plug in and just be your authentic self. So, I appreciate that.
So, before I show we're here to do the book reveal or the cover reveal of my book.
Okay.
And the cover artist for the drawing is Signe. And
Signe.
I'm going to show the cover, but first I have to tell everyone the elephant in the room of what happened.
Okay.
So we're filming this on Friday in the morning. Last Friday night, after this was all scheduled. This is an adaptation. It's a novel, an adaptation of a screenplay that I started 4 years ago, and from a sitcom. So I adapted it, and so it's called The Pantomime Horses of London, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
And so 4 years ago,
Take a deep breath.
Screenplay. It's a comedy. A year ago, I started adapting it to the book. A year ago, The Pantomime Horses of London, Kentucky. And last Friday night, Saturday morning, London, Kentucky was destroyed by a tornado.
No, see.
It's a town of 7,000 people.
Wow.
It's a town of 7,000 people. Somewhere around 20 people are dead. Some say 19. There's 10 to 15 people in intensive care right now. We pray that they all make it.
My goodness.
And so Stephanie and I recorded my initial response to that already, so I could cry in front of her. And I wish that I could have.
Okay.
I wish that I could have cried in front of Emily, but and so I'm gonna drop that in here. When you're watching this, folks, you'll hear mention of tornado, and we're filming this on a Thursday. This book that I've been working on for a year, based on a screenplay that I was working on in 2021. So 4 years ago, 3 years before I started working on the book, takes place in a town that got totally destroyed by the tornado. And I mean totally destroyed. As we're recording this, there are 19 people dead. This is a town of 7,000 people. If I told Stephanie, but imagine like in Stephanie's town, from the town square, you can walk about 3 blocks and it's just all residential and these trees. There's one block where all of the houses are gone, not sticks or anything, and every person is dead on that block.
Oh.
There's no one left.
Mm.
They found like sticks from those houses, in a kid's Letterman jacket 6 miles away from that specific block. This town of 7,000 people, I should know how many houses there are. There isn't a house untouched. Now, some houses weren't destroyed,
Right.
praise God, but they have tarps over the roof and just like everything you would see in a normal tornado. But there are houses that just aren't there, like the fires in California. And there's churches are gone. So there's this pastor sitting out in front of his church, and there was a flyer from his church about something that was supposed to happen on Sunday. And this happened on a Friday night, Saturday morning. For a flyer for something that was supposed to happen at his church on Sunday. Church is gone. They found the flyer untouched 45 miles away. And this tornado is on the ground for an hour and a half, which
I cannot imagine.
and so and this I should be clear, this isn't my town. I don't live anywhere near there. It's just the town that I chose 4 years ago to be the location for a comedy screenplay and a comedy novel. And so I texted Emily and I texted Stephanie and I said, I'm a selfish jerk, but what do I do with this book that I'm launching on Tuesday? The cover that it's like Bridges of Madison County or Real Housewives of New York. The name of the town is in the title. It's on the cover. And I'm obviously not going to do it on Tuesday. It's too soon. How soon is too soon? There's no answer. There's no answer because the town is so impacted. There were, and I wrote some of these things. I'm out of the privacy for the people. Some of these people, that they've been on the news, so I know their names. But there were first responders who saved lives, who then there was a firefighter who he saved this one family and got them to safety, and he's helping this other family, and he got sucked up by the tornado while he was trying to save these other lives. There's families that watched their people, there were people that were crushed and they're screaming for help, and they had to watch their family members die. And so there were these two 70-year-old people who lived, and I mean, there are people who lived that lost their legs. There's still 10 to 15 people in critical condition, and so that number, we pray that they all make it, obviously. I don't want to look like I'm capitalizing on this town in any way, and I don't want to look insensitive to it. And I think I have an answer of what I'm going to do, and I'm going to run that answer by Stephanie. I think the Holy Spirit orchestrated this answer over the last few episodes with Stephanie. And I brought Kleenex because I knew that would happen.
These are the difficult things that happen as writers, like,
yeah.
I mean, what are the chances? You think of the number of cities and counties, and
20,000 towns in America. I thought there'd be more, but there's 20,000 towns in America. 3 have this name. Mm-hmm. One in Kentucky, one in Arkansas, and one in Ohio. So at first I feel selfish when I'm going through these thoughts, and that first 24 hours of, could I move it to Arkansas? Could I move, and no, because then that dishonors the town. Mm-hmm. So I want to be really clear. I'm going to say something, a decision I made in the book or in the screenplay 4 years ago, that I am not This was a 4-year-old decision, but the this is so it's I'm not capitalizing on these deaths. I don't even know yet when I'm going to release the book reveal at this point, but I think I might know, but not now. And so, like I said, it was a comedy. It was a comedy. It is a comedy novel, and thank God, literally, that I'm this person. I love The Simpsons, but I hate the hillbilly family on The Simpsons because everyone thinks of Kentucky as the hillbilly family on The Simpsons, and they're not. They're there's a bistro pub in this town where the story takes place. It's a sister city of a town. It's like any regular working class town, and so the the who knew 4 years ago when I was writing the screenplay, or a year ago when I started to adapt it into the book, that I treat the people of this town with dignity, and they're the people that come off looking better than when the outsiders come in. Like, I don't know if you remember Green Acres, but the town of Hooterville, like the town has a bunch of crazy people, but the guy who comes in from New York City, he's the guy that all the jokes are always on him, right?
Right.
And so I have two people from the namesake town from England that are in this town, and they're a father and a daughter, and they have this dynamic between them. But the brunt of the jokes are always on the guy, the classy erudite guy, because people in Appalachia are regular people, and they are not the Simpsons hillbillies. And so I can't change it to Ohio because that's not in Appalachia. That's not where the sentiment of how I respected these people 4 years ago and a year ago. Uh, it's not the same. And Arkansas could, but that town was too small. The one with the name in Arkansas, it was too small, and I don't think it would even have a bistro pub. Anyway, so I go back to church. So I'm in church, and pastor has talked about this concept before of already not yet. And so the easiest way to explain something is something happens to you and you think you're in the complete fulfillment, right? So the people who lived in the Old Testament before Jesus came back, and then Jesus comes back, and that's the Messiah, and it's fulfilled, right? That's the already 100% complete fulfilled, but there's still a not yet because he hasn't come back the second time, right? And so it doesn't take away from the first time. It's still 100% fulfillment, but there's still a not yet. You and I have talked about this is why I think it fits with my decision. You and I have talked about when we got rejected from school, right? From the school we didn't go to, but then so but then this thing happened, and so then, like in my case, I got my master's. Well, that was complete, but it was not yet because 2 years later I got the MFA that I wasn't going to get in the first place. So that's
Right.
already not yet. And you have an example of your already not yet's. Go ahead.
Yeah, like not getting in and then um getting in on a wait list, but then having to run, right? Like getting the opportunity to run there. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's become a thing already not yet that has kind of evolved in the podcast since Stephanie's been here, since you've been here. And when it came out of the pastor's mouth, I'm like, oh, I got a little ding of, oh, now Holy Spirit's trying to do something here, already not yet. And then I had on Saturday, I had a webinar with Michael Jamin. This was all it was. He did it just as a thank you for the people who had bought his book, and
Oh,
you could ask him. He had asked. You could ask him anything, and so here's what I asked him. This story that I just told. I'm like, I woke up this morning, and this was at 12 o'clock on the Saturday, and the book reveal, all the things I just explained to you viewers and to Stephanie, And I asked him, and he first thing he said was, "Oof, man, I don't know. That's tough." And he's my hero too.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got all silent and quiet. There were 21 people in this live Zoom thing, all writers, and uh, and I'm like, "Yeah, I know. That's why I'm asking you, because you're my hero." And he goes, and I said what I said to you, like, I like part of his thing is write the stories that you don't want to tell. I'm like, this is a question I don't want to ask, man. And because there's shame involved in asking a question. And so kind of sucked the air out of the room for a little bit, and then he's like, how long is the news cycle these days? It goes so fast. And he goes, how long can you put it off and not stop so book reveal, then pre-orders, then this, then that, like, without delaying the wreck, because the train's already left the station, man. There's things at the end that I cannot change the dates. He's like, how long can you postpone it? And I'm like, I don't know. Which I'm glad he asked that question, because I had not thought of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know, 3 weeks. And he goes, well, that's your answer. And he goes, if it's me, he's like, I don't think anybody from that town is going to they're not going to see your book reveal. But that's not the point. Their town is going to be on the cover of the book. And then yesterday, I heard that they canceled. So their school, they still had 2 weeks left of school. They canceled the rest of their school, and they're still having graduation on May 31st. But so then I thought I had this answer. I'll wait 3 weeks. But then I was like, man, those people are impacted for the rest of their life. Those 18-year-olds, they're going to be 40 years old 30 years from now. And they're going to be like, our town was destroyed and we didn't even finish our school year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's never going away.
Right.
It's so there it's never going away. There is no right time. Then he went on and answered the next question. And then he interrupted to answer to the next following question. He's like, hey, John. He diluted my brand and called me John instead of John Myers. And he goes, look in the chat. There's people answering your question. And it made this little community. And one guy was like a news, TV news man, news editor, like in Kansas or whatever. And he said, the longer that you can put between a disaster and when you talk about the disaster, the less number of people you'll have who will be offended by you talking about it. That's an interesting principle, and that was from someone whose job is to run a newsroom. And
But it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, but it was good to hear it from a news person. And so now I'm thinking I'm going to wait 3 weeks. That's what I'm thinking. Then he says, he's talking about something totally different. Like he's teaching some lesson about storytelling. He's answered whatever questions. He's telling his next point, and he would stop whenever someone put a new question. He'd address that question, but in between the questions, there were learning objectives that he wanted us to have, and he said, what if something good came out of choosing this town? He said that exact freaking sentence. And not about my book, not about some other story he was telling. I think it was someone was complimenting him on one of the chapters in this book, and he was telling about how he wrote the chapter, and he thought, what if something good could come out of me choosing this town? Well, so
It's
that's
something similar to what I said.
Yeah, right. So that's what I'm saying. It's a touchstone that matches. It's like the confirmation of what you said. So now I've heard it from two different people, two different unrelated sources. So I need to hear it from a third person. And so respond to all that and tell me what you're feeling. Tell me what the Holy Spirit's telling you, and then I'll wrap this up with a positive story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the timing is difficult. I think we're always going to offend somebody.
And I don't want to. I really don't
Right.
want to.
Yeah. I could go back and forth. I could go two ways. I could go what I originally told you was that because it is comedy and comedy is healing. That, and I don't know the story. I haven't read it. Is, there might be like that little, spark of hope or spark of um joy or laughter or something that could. So that's kind of one vein,
And I'm going to
like.
interrupt it there to confirm that the way, which circles back to what I originally started with, the way I crafted these characters. Yeah, I treat them with dignity. They're funny, but they're not funny at their expense. They're funny
Right.
at the expense of the snooty guys' expense, right? And they're and so yeah, that's their work ethic, observing their work ethic, observing their morality, observing their ethos will be healing.
Well, and I think too is maybe what I had texted you also is like, I don't know how you do that, but like, you know, dedicating and adding something in, and we as authors, we're usually writing years ahead of when something already comes out, but it's never too late to add that like dedication and thoughtfulness, so your reader does understand, it was in the works. The totally other, and I actually did this in a fiction book that I was working on, is I changed one of the locations totally, um because it matched something that was happening and I had already written everything, and so I just changed it because really of the child's parents. I never wanted them to think that I was capitalizing on something very tragic that happened to their son. And that's a pain in the butt to do. It takes a lot of time. It delays a lot of stuff. Um, but at the end, that's what I felt like I had to do. So,
And I was open to that. That's why I researched the other two towns.
mhm,
And but then when Jammin said that, what if something good could come
right,
from choosing this town? And then we've talked about where we have no idea what God's doing 3 or
right,
4 years ago,
right.
a year ago. He knew.
No
He,
coincidences, right? We
correct.
did a whole episode around no.
Everything happens for a reason. He knew that while I was working on that, and if he wanted it to be Arkansas or Ohio, he would have made it Arkansas or Ohio.
Or a
And
totally different town.
well, the
Not even the
event that
same town.
happens is tied to the event that has the same name in the town in England.
Yeah.
So it would be like
Yeah,
it'd be
yeah,
like if you had Florence, Italy, and Florence, Kentucky, and
yeah.
it was around the same event. So it, I definitely think it will be dedicated.
Mhm.
Here's what I know. I know. So had I not, this was not my thought. Until Jammin said that, and then Church said that, and Stephanie said what she said, and Emily said what she said. David Corbley said something. So just today, when we're recording this, and then so I'm going to record the book reveal tomorrow with the artist, but I'm not going to release it for a while. And but just today, the fund where you can donate to the fund, and so this will be years to rebuild this
Oh,
town,
yeah.
and the fund will be in the back of the book. Okay, so here this is a real story of someone I know. He was in, I don't remember where he was now, but he was in Texas or Oklahoma or something, and he's from Lexington, Kentucky. So he calls one of his friends and he's like, I gotta go help, and I have another date out of town in New York that I can't cancel, a speaking engagement, and but I was gonna go straight to New York. I'll come home for a day to Kentucky, and I just gotta help. Is there something I can do? And they're like, yeah, meet me at this whatever staging center, and we'll just volunteer for the whole day. So he does. He flies home from wherever he's at, Omaha or wherever he's at, and hops in the car. He can't get anywhere near the town because there's so many people volunteering.
Yeah.
And so so it's him and his two daughters and two of his daughter's friends, and they just pull over to start walking to the rendezvous spot, right? And as soon as where the car stopped, where God had them stop, where they couldn't get any farther, there are these 70-year-old people, husband and wife. Their house was just buried in trees, like buried in trees, and they got out alive, praise God. And they were picking up like little, because they were old 70-year-old people. They're picking up little things out of their yard, and he's like, we didn't even get to where our destination. We stayed there and helped them the whole day. And one I had a little chainsaw, and then someone else with a bigger chainsaw showed up, and then someone else with an even big. We wound up with 4 chainsaws, and a whatever, a big bulldozer truck forklift thing. And by the time we were done, we got all the trees off their house, and we spent all day there. And we were done with that house, and this family pulled up just like we had pulled up 6 hours ago. This family pulls up and goes, and they couldn't get any closer either. And they're like, all right, put us to work. What are we gonna do? And so that guy sent him to the next house. Those people had come from Paducah, 300 miles away, and they heard about it on the radio, and they got in the car and they drove and they drove to help. Just like that guy flew back from Omaha or wherever the heck he was to help. And when he was leaving, he said, as far as you could see were people coming to help, like miles. People were coming down the one road into the town to help. And that just shows you, I think that was also, again, it's not about me, but I think it's the confirmation of that we're supposed to help. And
Well, that's the American spirit, and I think that's what's so sad in our country today is we only see the negative, but I always think there's way more people who are coming to help
yeah, there's people
than what
coming
we
to
would
help.
ever know.
And Mr. Rogers, that was his thing. Look for the helpers, right?
Yeah.
And so if I change the title, if I change the town, I don't help anybody.
Yeah.
But if I put the thing with the fundraising in the back, and donate some of my proceeds, then I'm helping. And God knew that when I picked the town 4 years ago and a year ago, which I did never in a million years.
Right.
And so it doesn't help to change the town in this case. I'm not saying you were wrong to change your
no,
town.
I just said like these are your two options. I felt
Right.
like you either keep it and dedicate it and don't like ignore the fact. You know what I mean? I think sometimes like when there are these difficult decisions is people ignore whatever, like the elephant in the room. And then it makes it worse because then it's almost like you're insensitive and you're not ignoring it. So it's like your two options is no, you got to address it because it's a fact. It's something that happened and you address it or you change it. And so,
And it's not even like it's a big town like New Orleans. Oh,
right.
you ignored Hurricane Katrina. Well, yeah, it's because a bazillion things have happened in New Orleans. Nothing bigger than this is ever going to happen in this town of 7,000 people.
Yeah. We
And
pray
so,
it doesn't. Yeah.
all right. I went through the week, so we did that yesterday. So I went through the 6 days of what do I do now, and look at how selfish I am that I'm even thinking about what do I do now. So if it seems
That's heavy.
that I'm flip it or anything right now, I'm not. And it's because I worked through a lot of it over the last 6 days, and
My God.
I bled all over the screen yesterday when we recorded
Oh,
the
wow.
thing where I cried my eyes out.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
That's horrible, and my heart goes out to all the people in London, Kentucky. And I don't think it's that selfish, John, because you're also considering about what it does to the people of that place. I
Right.
can't imagine tornadoes. I don't know what they are, but it sounds crazy.
Well, first, let me
Yeah.
make clear that I am not there. So this is a town that I picked 4 years
Okay.
ago that has not like, it's not where I'm at or or anything like that.
Oh, good, good, good.
There's a story reason why I chose that town, because London, Kentucky is a sister city to London, England, and without going into everything that I explained to Stephanie yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
I love The Simpsons, but I hate the hillbilly family on The Simpsons because I think it's degrading to the people of Appalachia, and I know it's comedy, and, but I don't like how Appalachia is portrayed by that weird family, and
Okay.
so when I set out to write the sitcom 4 years ago, I
Mm-hmm.
made sure that I treated this town and the people with respect. They're the people that always come out on top. So
Wow.
uh,
Wow.
the main character is she's British and she's from London, and her dad is he's not the antagonist, but her dad is antagonistic towards her, and
Okay.
so he's a Brit,
Mm-hmm.
and so if you've ever seen Green Acres, the small town of Hooterville is just all these crazy people, but they're always the one that come out, and the joke's always on the guy from New York City. The joke's
Mm.
always on Mr. Douglas. And so I treated these people with respect. It's still
My God.
and hardworking. They have a great work ethic, and all that
Mm.
plays into the story. And uh, I feel like if I change the town, I disrespect these people at this point.
You cannot change it. I'm just saying that just what I'm feeling because of, your heart, your intentions, and, it speaks so highly about this community and the people. I think about, when we're talking about storytelling and writing and artists and the love that you put into it, the life that you bring to it. Like you just put so much love and hard time, energy that for years to come, people can type up this town and your work will show up bringing them, I would just say just light. You talk about light, just starting off the conversation with introductions. But your work is going to just really allow people that maybe, say, 20 years from now, 100 years from now, will never hear about it or perhaps come in contact through your work. So please don't change it. Like, wow, I'm thinking about how you were used in such a strategic way. We call it a prophecy that you were used to carry on, to write about, and to just bring life and to create a historical marker for this community. I'm just going to say it's phenomenal, incredible, and again, please don't change it.
Well, I'll receive that, but I'm gonna knock some of it away. I'm gonna knock the
Oh,
edges off of some of it because it's not a documentary. It's not nonfiction.
okay.
It's a silly story, but the people are treated with respect, and
Yeah,
um.
that's a lot.
The other thing I wanted to say, but I lost my train of thought, was that I don't want to make it about me. I
Mm-hmm.
Just like our podcast isn't about Emily and myself, it's about the people, it's about the community. And so
Mm-hmm.
I don't want the discussion to be, so that's where I'm knocking a little bit of the edges off of it.
Okay.
I don't want it to be
Okay.
about me. And but the book is also not about them because, like I said, it's not a nonfiction, it's not a documentary. The sitcom was it was a sitcom, man. But it I mean, silly can be healing. So I went back and
Mhm.
forth for the first few days. There are
Okay.
3 other Londons in the United States. Well, no, not 3 others,
Mhm.
there's 2 others. So there's London, Arkansas, and London, Ohio. Neither one is in Appalachia, so it wouldn't work. The Arkansas one was too small. There's a bistro pub in this town, and there couldn't be one in the little dinky town. I mean, it's still a small town of 7,000 people, but the one in Arkansas was of
Right.
1,000 people.
Okay.
and then uh and then the one in Ohio, that it's would be too northern, and
Okay.
it wouldn't fit. And then plus, so I couldn't change it, but
Mm-hmm.
I could trash the project, or I could wait for the project, right?
And
But then Saturday, so this was the next day, Saturday, I was in a webinar with Michael Jamin, and
mm-hmm.
Michael Jamin, where's his book?
We're holding you accountable.
Well, I'm not,
Right,
well,
Signa?
what, because it's not about me, and so that's why I was thinking
Well,
that.
I think you have to go through this process when something like this happens. You have to like think of everything. Like, am I going to trash it?
All
Am
of
I
it.
going to change it? Am
Absolutely.
I going to? That's part of the process that you just have to go through to
Absolutely.
find it in yourself to be okay with whatever the outcome is for Don Mayers and the
I
book.
think that
Yeah,
is a beautiful, well said. Go
Yeah,
through the process.
thank you, Signa. I agree with that. But
Mm-hmm.
again, not about me. It's about them, and it's about these fiction. It's about these.
it's about the world. It's about the world,
Right.
True,
and we all have a little part in it.
true.
And it's good to just see what's my part in it and how do I feel about it. And I think
Oh, I love that.
that's
It's like
just
a violin. You just did a nice melody. Oh my goodness.
And
Yeah, I
see,
needed
you
that.
two are the Stephanie was the right person yesterday for me to bawl my eyes out in front of. So now we have this practical business response, and we have this artistic response. Between that, you two are the perfect people to be here to
Yeah.
have the, I don't know, part two of this conversation. I'm looking for Jamin's. Oh, there's Jamin's book right there. Hold please.
I love it here that how you identified the different discussions and the different conversations that are needed, because I like to, look at things from a holistic perspective. So you're looking at the whole thing and then you'll be able to make your definite decision.
yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the book that I was when I was looking all
Well
over for the
said.
last 5 minutes. And so
Well said.
Michael Jamin, he's a sitcom writer. He's one of my heroes,
Yeah.
and he's written for King of the Hill, Beavis and Butthead, Just Shoot Me, Tacoma FD, and but this is a story, or this is a memoir-ish.
What's the
It's a
title?
collection
What's
of
the title?
stories, a paper orchestra, and
Okay. Thank you.
it's 20 stories. And Mytecia knows a little bit about the memoir I'm going to write next year.
Hmm.
Uh, the memoir I'm going to write is like my 20 worst moments, like 20 moments I'm shameful of, 20. And I'm a pretty positive guy. And so I don't even know if
Oh,
I have
Lord.
20. I'm not even thinking about it till next year because I got other things to worry about till next year. But I might have to go create some more shameful moments. So I was in a webinar with Jamin. So I was in a webinar with him on Saturday. So this is
Okay.
Matt, 6 hours after I get the news that this town is gone. And the webinar was Jamin's big thing for his nonfiction is tell the stories that you don't want to tell. And
Okay.
and my I started my question because
That's huge.
with this is a question that I don't want to ask, right? You just spent a half hour talking about tell the stories you don't want to tell. This is a question I don't want to ask because I'm a selfish jerk for asking this question. And then I asked him, how long do I wait? And
Mm-hmm.
and he went like, and I told him what I told you all. And he's like, oof, man, that's tough. The community, the other people that were in the Zoom, they
Mm-hmm.
started going, well, you could, like, they started chiming in, and it turned into
Okay.
this little thing. And so he went on and answered another question. And then he's like, hey, John, look, they're talking about your, like, maybe if my answer wasn't good enough, here's some other answers or things to consider. And so
Reinforce.
I could see a little bit of community building just from by
Mm-hmm.
putting the question out there. So that was the first thing. And then
I love that.
once he got through everybody's questions, he went on to teaching another point. But he said this sentence that I wrote down, and I don't know where I wrote it down, but I got it exactly right on the thing I recorded with Stephanie yesterday. But he said this sentence of, what if something good, so he was talking about one of the stories in here, and he's like,
Okay.
first I had to decide, am I going to set it in the apartment building, or I'm going to set it in this, I'm going to set it in that. And then he
Mm.
said, what if something good came from the town I chose? That's literally that sentence came
What
out of his
if?
mouth in the
Wow, what
in the
if?
webinar. And so I
Mhm.
went like, "Oh, that's interesting." And so I wrote that down. And then
Oh.
Sunday in church, pastor taught about this concept that and he teaches about it a lot, but uh,
Mm-hmm.
already not yet. So when something
Okay.
happens, and Stephanie and I have talked about this on the show before, Jammin got rejected for the creative writing
Oh.
project that he want or grad school that he wanted to go to, and I got rejected to the MFA program that I wanted to go to, but I got a master's degree instead. And then
Mm-hmm.
2 years later, they recruited me to go to get the MFA. So now
Oh my
I have 3 degrees. But
Yeah, I
when I
saw
got
that.
the
I was like,
first
what
one,
you
that was
got?
the already, right?
The
I
already.
accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, and I
Mm-hmm.
was happy and fine, and the thing was already 100% fulfilled. And then
Wow.
2 years later, the not yet happened, and then it made
Mm-hmm.
it even more fulfilling, right? So
I
there's
love that.
already not yet. And so when he said that, I was like, well, this sitcom was done 4 years ago. Or 3 years
Mm-hmm.
ago, it's probably by the time it got done. The book got done, now. I don't know what's gonna happen. Uh,
Not yet.
not yet. I don't know the not yet, and it's not my job to know the not yet. Last thing I'll say, and then I'll let you all talk, and then we'll talk about the cover. I don't. I do want your opinion on what the right time is. So what Jammin said is,
Mm-hmm.
at first, so he's like, how? I'm like, I can't put the train back in the station because I'm gonna
Mm.
have uh, uh, pre-orders, and then I'm gonna take it, and I have a book signing already
This
in
is true.
September for it, and so there's things I can't not do, and I can't change. And he said, well, how long can you push back the cover reveal? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't know, 3 weeks maybe, and
Mm.
without affecting the other dominoes that have to fall.
Right.
And I said, I don't know,
Wow.
maybe 3 weeks. And he goes, well, that's your answer. I was going to say a week. That's what he said. And I'm like, well,
He's gonna give you 1 week, huh?
yeah, it's not going to be a week. And so, uh, so so then yesterday they still
Mm-hmm.
had 2 or 3 weeks of school left,
Really?
and they and I should point out, this isn't uh the whole town is so there are blocks where, like, your suburban 1,000, 1,500 square foot homes, like old downtown, where you walk away from the downtown and just houses. There are blocks that are gone, and
Oh.
everyone on the block died. All
Oh
nine
my
people on the
goodness.
block died. Um,
Oh my
Wow.
God.
there are
Tragic.
there is not and the house in that block, the houses are gone. They're
Yeah.
like, they found things 6 miles away. They
Oh
found
my
a
God.
flyer from a church 45 miles away. They found a Letterman jacket 6 miles away. The tornado was on the ground. So this was weird because the tornado was on the ground an hour and a half, and that never happens. And
Wow.
and so that's why. So even the houses that are there, and that are people are living in them with tarps over the top, there isn't a
This is
single house in the town that wasn't affected. So it's
Good
not
Lord.
like it's gonna get cleaned up anytime soon. So every house was affected in either a minor way or completely destroyed.
mm,
So
mm,
yesterday, or 2 days ago, I don't remember, they announced that we're just canceling the school year, and we're still gonna have. I'm saying I'm not in that town. They're canceling
mm.
the school year, and for the rest of it, the last 2 or 3 weeks, whatever your grade was the last day of school, that's your grade, and the graduation is still gonna be May 31st, which I'm pretty sure we're gonna this isn't gonna air until after May 31st. So, but that made me think, when I'm driving in the
Yeah.
car and I heard that on the radio, those 18-year-olds, those 17-year-olds, they're impacted
Mm.
forever. So there is no how long do I wait, because they're going to be
Right.
40 years old, and they're going to be like, remember when we didn't get to finish the school year, or
Oh my
or
goodness.
when we had graduation surrounded by rubble? That's going to
Mm.
be with them forever.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
it's not like the hurricane, and which was terrible, Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans and
Mhm.
everything. But New Orleans is a big city, and other big things happen. Nothing bigger than this will ever happen in London, Kentucky,
Right. That
ever.
is the big thing.
It's 7,000 people, and they'll remember it forever. And so there's no right time.
Wow,
All
the
right.
divine time. And so that's when I get into tapping into prayer and, really seeking God about direction.
What when
That's a lot. That's heavy.
so I'm gonna wait 3 weeks because I
Mm-hmm.
feel when Jamin said that was the answer. But if I don't have to, like, I'm in charge, man. I don't have to release it in 3 weeks.
It's your project.
And then I know I already said last thing, then I'll let you talk. But so when all this happened, even yesterday, so yesterday they were setting up the fund, right? And so while Stephanie and I were recording, uh, the fund still what hadn't been the website for the fund where you could donate hadn't been up there yet. So I can put that in the back of the book, and I will, and I can donate. I'll put all that in the back. Talk you two.
I'm telling you,
Okay.
this is wow. Signa,
It is.
what are your
It is.
thoughts?
Well, I'm trying to think of the grand scheme of things, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to belittle the situation for the town, nor do I want to belittle the book.
Right.
But in the grand scheme of things, it's just a book launch. It's not going to change their lives. The tornado already has changed their lives.
Mm.
I don't think you're hurting anybody by putting out the book. So it's just about how and when.
The story's written now, but it's
Mm-hmm.
meant to be timeless. It's meant to be classic,
Timeless.
right? And
Okay.
so I mean, it's now. It's not like in the 1800s, and it's not in the future either. It's just now.
But I mean, stories are forever as well.
Right.
So
True.
I
It's a
I love
forever story.
stories. I'm really into stories. I'm diving into stories written in the Viking Age, which was 1,000 years ago. Stories are forever, man.
Right.
I agree. Do you want to say anything else, Mytecia, before I get
Mm.
into
No, I'm in agreement here. I think I'm chiming in and doing my oh yeah, uh-huh. Agreement because you've already um kind of you're talking this through, we're discussing this, and you're having multiple discussions, and I think collectively, just as a writer, just as a creative, you always want the people who the book is designed to reach, that they have an understanding, like, why are you
Yeah,
even doing this?
okay,
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sickna? I feel like as an artist, you've dealt with some amazing, I don't mean amazing good, I mean amazingly tragic tragedy. How did you process that? I'm like, I don't even know this. I'm just guessing. And how did you process that through your art?
Mm.
This is
Oh, that's
such a hard
beautiful.
question. It's a beautiful question, and but it's a hard question because I don't think I've been through tragedy. I've been through stuff.
Trauma?
Um,
Mm.
yeah. When you say trauma, the first thing I go to is when my parents divorced. I think that was the hardest. That was a time that still echoes in my life up to
Mm.
now. It's where my insecurities come from, and everything. I recently went through a tough period where I came out of I had a burnout, came out of it, went back to work, probably too soon. I went through menopause at the same time, just after Corona. Or do you say Corona? You probably
You
say something
can.
different.
Yeah,
The
no.
No.
pandemic.
Yeah. The
Corona, it is
Yeah.
lockdown.
what it is. Yeah.
Um, and I just last month I felt like I crawled out from underneath a rock and was thinking,
Mm,
like, where have I been? Why am I only now feeling like myself again? It feels
mm,
like it's been years since I've been myself again. Um,
wow.
so that's a rough spot as well. I remember calling my mom in tears, completely in tears, saying, Mom, I she's 78 now, and I really don't want to bother her too much with
Mm,
my trials and tribulations, because I know that she'll she'll worry, and I don't want that for her, but I really needed to call her. And I said, I don't want anything. I just want you to be there for me and let me cry, because I know I'm going through a rough spot, but I also know that this will pass. And in everything that I've trauma. My father died in 2001. That was a big thing as well. Saying goodbye to my dad, who was also my best friend. But in hindsight, from the money that he left, I got my first horse.
Wow.
I named him Blizz. He was called Blizzard when I bought him, but I shortened it down to Blizz because it was bliss to have a
It was
horse.
bliss.
And he was with me for 21 years, 22 years.
Wow.
Yeah, he changed my life.
Wow.
So that was the legacy that my dad left. And my connection with my mother got stronger because my dad wasn't there anymore. So you can't see the good that comes from a trauma when you're in the trauma, or when you're in the horrible time, but it shapes you as a person. And to come back to your question, it does make you a better artist.
Wow.
You said, let me go back to, you said that this was a month ago is when you came out from under the rock.
Yeah.
And then I show up.
Yeah. That was crazy. That was crazy.
Hey.
Yeah, because
And
John, because
then
maybe I don't know if you told people that in the other
no, but
recording.
I want you. I want to. That's my next.
How did we meet, John?
That's what
How
I want.
did you
I want
meet?
you
I'm
to tell
curious now.
them what your first contact with me, what it was.
It was on a Facebook.
Right.
I'm in a Facebook group called Children's Book Illustrators and Writers.
Yeah,
I
it had
think
something to
that's
do
what
with
it's
children.
called.
It was Children's Books Illustrators.
And I'm lurking around in that group now and then, just reading the odd post. I don't want to see too much art because they're all so good, and I start doubting myself and my own work. So I don't hop in too much too often. But I like to see how people connect with each other in that little group. I don't think it's a little group; it's a rather large group. How people find each other, writers looking for illustrators and illustrators looking for writers, and how ideas are born. It's like this place where ideas are born and connections are made. And suddenly up popped this post of John saying, I'm looking for an illustrator to do like a small illustration with 2 pantomime horses. And I thought, well, that's me.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
And that's what I wrote to John. I said, well, look no further. You have found
Oh my goodness.
the probably only equine illustrator and artist in this entire group.
Yeah,
Oh my
she just
goodness.
had
How
so
fascinating.
to hear about all these doubts and the trauma and everything. She just had so much confidence
Confidence.
in this post that she was like, "Well, you found the right person. It's me.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm the only
it's
one in
like
this group of
I would love to
20,000
see
people
that
that could
post.
possibly be the right person."
Oh
doubt
my
and confidence is with me. I'm very insecure.
Oh
I
my.
doubt myself all the time. I'm a perfectionist, so I'm never good enough.
Oh my goodness.
That's I think that all stems back to my father leaving us. I won't go into all the psychology here, but I think a lot of people can relate to that sort of things happening in your life and shaping you.
Absolutely.
But there's a few things that I know. I know horses. I know I can make a little illustration. I love the style that John described. So in that moment, I thought, well, it's like a feeling. It's like this is what is going to happen because it's the only right answer.
Oh, I love that. This
Yeah.
is only what's going to happen because it's the only right answer. Love it.
There
Thank
was
you.
so let me
When you
Oh,
repeat it to me, it
oh
sounds
my
so.
goodness. I'm trying to calculate this right now. That is phenomenal. That is another explanation for me. I'm just thinking about faith because we're talking about, processing, and how do you process that through, your different art and creativity. And recently John popped up and I find out that I have to have eye surgery. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm a healthy person. So how is it that I'm having eye surgery? So processing all of that and then coming into it in a space, well, how now what I'm going to do is after the tears, after the prayers, after sitting with the issue, but then sitting with the possibilities of, in an optimistic way. Now I write, now I create, now I reach out to other people to help them.
Love
It's
that.
it's like the light. You begin to start touching people and say, "Hey, remember who you are. Remember what you're capable of." And so it comes out in that art form, in that creativity. And so now I have to write about prayer. I have to write about the power of prayer and healing because it's what I'm experiencing even now sitting here, in this podcast.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that so much. I'm not a Christian. I'm not a am I a religious person? I don't know. I'm a believer. But
Yeah. You're,
I love how the way you talk about this and what it does to you. It's like this, and I have that in my art. You know when a painting is going to be good. You just
oh
know
my
it. You
goodness.
can't rationalize it. You can't think
Mm,
it's good because I do sketches every day, or it's good because I buy the right paints, or it's good because I chose the right paper. It's not about that. It's about this feeling, and
feeling.
it's a whether it's intrinsic to you or you believe it's like God given.
Yeah.
There is stuff going on. There
Right.
is energy going on that tells you that something is right,
The
and you
lights are
can
going
shape
on.
that energy. And that's what I heard you say with your eye
Yeah.
surgery is you made probably the rational decision and probably a little emotional decision as
Oh
well. Okay,
yeah.
I can sit with this and cry in darkness, or I can see the light,
Literally.
literally everything literally,
Literally.
see the light and see what the
Oh.
light brings me. And that's the only choice that we have. Because
Oh,
things happen to us, are going to happen.
I hear people saying, life is life in it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But I love how you said that, like literally, I lost sight. And to be able to process that, I'm listening, listening, a lot of listening, but then at the same time, and
Yeah.
I have to continue to move forward. And so part of that process, it's like speaking to the right people about the right things, but then at the same time, being able to know that you must continue to move forward and creatively in artistic expression. That's why I love the visual arts. That's why I love
Mhm.
working with writers because there are no limitations. Yeah, there are no limitations.
You heard the end of the story of how, well, not really.
Uh,
You heard the end of the story of how Signe started, but
I love that.
this isn't a children's book, so why did I post that in a children's illustration page? Well, I'll tell you.
Let's hear. Oh my
So
goodness.
I had looked through Fiverr, and I won't use AI, right? I'm only going to use a real live human being artist, and
Yes.
so, but there are real live human being artists on Fiverr, and I've used them before, and I had it narrowed down to about 5 people on Fiverr, and none of them were they were all close to what I wanted, but none of them were
Okay.
exactly what I wanted. And uh Signa knows she was in the top 2, right? And the other human being that she doesn't know was was a guy locally, which I don't like to use local people. I like to use international people because I'm a snob.
Wonderful. I like international. Come on.
And
Global. Global
um
is my word.
Away with the borders. Let's go.
Global.
and but first of all, her the she was the right person, and I
Mhm.
knew that the whole time, but I had
Oh,
contacted him first, and so I had to wait for him to answer me rejecting him. But right,
my
so I did, but I had to wait uh, uh
goodness.
before I could tell Signe, yeah, go ahead, and he just wasn't ever answering. And
The process.
yeah, and so like
I was gonna say sorry, guys, sorry, but if he didn't answer you, well,
no,
That,
continue.
yeah, that's something different. Yeah.
and so whether he would have responded or not, you still would have been the right person. And
The
but
person.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then so anyway, he took too long for me to fire him, even though I never hired him.
Oh, wow. Bummer.
And uh, people are busy. And I don't take it. I don't
You,
take it personally.
yeah,
And
you never know why.
but so I am in writing groups. I am in pedagogy
Hmm.
groups as a professor. I am in screenwriting groups. I am
Oh, my
not in
goodness.
any
The groups.
I am not in any artist groups or illustrator groups or anything.
Mhm.
So I went through a bunch of them, and 80% of them allowed AI. So that this
Ah,
scratched those off the
right.
list. And
Yeah.
then I got it down about 3. Which of these 3 groups do I want to join? And this
Hmm.
group was full of, so the starter pack trend was happening, where people were putting their profession, I'm a teacher, I'm a plumber, and they were putting it in AI, and they were making like a little uh, I don't know,
Really?
a starter pack of
Services?
like an action figure of them with their
Wow.
cat and their backpack and all that. Well, this group had a bunch of human created ones.
Oh, wow. I remember that. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah, and so
We
this
haven't
group had
heard.
only human created ones, and they all had like this anti AI symbol in it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, yeah,
Oh,
this
wow.
is the right group. And
Okay.
and then um
But that was, sorry for interrupting you again,
yeah,
John,
yeah.
because that was really inspirational.
Okay.
I'm not I'm not savvy enough to see all the trends and stuff, but this one went viral in the group as well. So that's when I started googling on that starter pack thing, and there were some artists. There's like a paper artist who does paper cuttings, and he might made like a beautiful paper cuttings that look like one of those model kits. So he took the starter pack next level, and I
Oh,
think
wow.
you you can't ask AI to do that. So they keep inspiring each other, and I think this is what not AI is about.
There was
Oh,
this
goodness.
there was this sweet little, I don't want to say sweet little, but there was this pure innocent looking artist, and her starter pack was that she took a flamethrower to the starter pack.
Oh,
This little
wow.
innocent looking
Oh, my goodness.
woman, she takes a flamethrower to it, and so the whole left side of it was burned, and she had escaped from the starter pack. And so it
Oh,
was
my
the
I
goodness.
remember that one. I
yeah.
remember that
So
You
one.
have
That
been
was very good.
it was
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
the right group. And
yeah.
then I got, I don't know, 24 applicants, and
really.
5 of them were really good. But again, I knew that that Signa was the right person, but uh, and
I
5 of them
love
are real good. So if they wind up watching this, I've invited one to
you're
be.
really good.
I've invited one to be on the show in the future when I get the schedule worked out, and because she was really good, and but they weren't this etching look that I was looking for. That they were a different
Okay.
look, and
Mm.
Signa got that 100%.
Well,
Oh,
I
I'm
like
so
that you were
glad.
very
Yay.
specific in what you needed. You knew what you wanted it, and that makes it easier for an artist to see if they are the right person. If you invest the
Mhm.
time in reaching out into people, because you see a lot of like open calls for artists in
Sure.
that group, and sometimes I've written a children's book about, let's say, something, a star that's falling to the earth and has an adventure, and then you think, well, is
Mm-hmm.
this my kind of book? I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know what style they're looking. I can draw a star.
right.
Is how do I know why? And these are big. Some of them can be huge assignments that you're going to dedicate
Mm.
the next 6 months of your life to. If you going to illustrate an entire picture book, it's going to be 6 months at least.
Okay, that's good.
So
Yeah.
it was
Mm.
John. Just yeah, well, everything fell in place with this little open call and and the connection we made. Yeah,
And then
it just
also,
all
Signe was
yeah,
like, "I'm actually happen to be researching pantomime
yeah,
horses
No
from the
way.
1700s or something like." I'm like,
Really?
"Phew,
yeah.
what? I just have
How
a silly little comedy book."
Yeah. There's
right
this
on
in
time.
the there's loads of masked traditions
Mm-hmm.
all out all through the world, and there's this horse tradition, the Marilude. I'm probably ruining the pronunciation because it's Welsh. Um, and several others, clapper horses, and
Oh
they all have to
wow.
do either midwinter, midsummer. So
Mm-hmm.
from very old religious practices,
Mm-hmm.
celebrating the shape of the horse and
Oh
masking up
wow.
as a horse, and that is a theme that it really interests me, and I want to discover further as
Oh
an
wow.
artist. So I was very happy to draw dressed up humans as a
Oh
horse.
my
It was
goodness. I
excellent.
love this.
Yeah.
Every every
Oh,
moment of your life prepares you for this moment, and
that's,
there is
we need to write some quotes of
that's
this.
one of my life
'Cause
tenets. That's one of my life
we each
tenets.
got one really good one at least.
Um. Anyway, and so had you seen? And I'll put it on the screen right here somewhere. Have you seen before I showed you the Pepperidge Farm label? Had you seen that label before? To as the inspiration. I knew that was the etching look that I wanted, and
Okay.
that
Wow.
there's been over I don't know how old Pepperidge Farm is,
Oh
and
wow.
they didn't use it that long. They've been through 40 different logos, and they used that logo for a year and a half or something. But I knew I wanted it to look like that style, and you nailed it.
Yeah, also like vintagey style. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
if it's just horses and vintage and pantomime, and what was it John said? Everything, everything
Every
you
moment that
do.
you've been through, I started to make a point about that. Every
Yeah,
moment you've been through in your life has prepared you for this moment right now.
yeah, yeah.
And
True.
I need that on a t-shirt.
You do.
Need it on a t-shirt.
that's one of my
I
life
don't wear
tenets.
t-shirts,
But
but I
so
need it.
that Pepperidge Farm style, I teach literature, and I had assigned a story from everything. uh, Anyway, the book's called "The Paper Lives They Lead," and there's a short story about the people who live on that label.
Okay.
And I had to assign that to
Wow.
my
Interesting.
students, and now here I use the drawing from the label to say, "Oh, this is the look that I'm going for." Signa nailed it. Tell them how I am to work as first of all, tell people what the model client is, and then tell them that it was me. No, tell them what I would like to work with, warts and
I
all.
love that.
John Myers is the perfect client. No. um, I think I said it was good that you knew what you wanted, but there was also enough creative freedom in it,
Mm.
and especially with picture books. I prefer the word picture books to children books because I believe that picture books are for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you probably both know this better than I do as professors on universities. How many people in the world are illiterate or have trouble reading
Mm-hmm.
or suffer from dyslexia, stuff like that. So pictures say more than 1,000 words,
Yes.
but words enrich pictures. So they go
Mm.
together, and the word is not describing what the picture says, and the picture is not the drawn version of the word. So
Mm.
I believe that the writer artist and the picture artist come together to
Mm.
tell a story together.
Beautiful.
And there has to be a good balance between it. So that's the perfect client,
Oh,
That
I love.
perfect cooperation.
compare me
I
to the
think.
perfect
Yeah.
one. How needy was I? I didn't demand any time. Like, don't you have clients that
Oh,
go, "I need this by tomorrow"? Like, I'm not like
Oh
that guy.
you were very perfect. Yeah.
wow. Oh my
You were very
goodness.
perfect. you told me when you were going to communicate next, and you
Uh-huh.
did.
Mm-hmm.
And you sent pictures of what you were looking for, in which direction you were looking. And that helped, because then I knew, like, oh, this is what he's looking for. And you were very clear about the stuff that you did like and you didn't like. And then when my drawing was done, I had a lot of creative freedom, and I knew you were going to come back to me with, you need to change that, because it's in the book I talk about this and this and this, and you need to change that for the drawing. And that was great too, because it gave me the freedom to draw something that I would, without any restriction, thought this could be great.
Oh, wow.
And also be open for John's going to tell me what he needs on his cover, because it has to make sense with the book. And I haven't read the entire book, so John didn't make me read the entire book.
Oh,
Thank
that's
goodness.
beautiful.
Well, that was intentional, because so there's trust. And so for a collaboration, you have to have people, you have to trust the other person to
That's so true.
know what they're doing and to be good at what they do. And why would I try to micromanage a book cover artist or when that's
Let
not what I do?
go.
I wouldn't, if I could do it, I wouldn't be hiring one, right? So
My
I had to
goodness.
trust her, and I did trust her when she's talking about
Huge.
the tweaks that I wanted. She hadn't read it, but I'm glad that she hadn't read it. But one of the things is you never know who is in the horses, right? And so because it takes two people to be inside a pantomime horse, legs couldn't, they couldn't be like in high heels, and they couldn't be like, they couldn't look like male legs, and they couldn't look like female legs, because I didn't want anyone to know who's inside any horse towards the end of the book. So
Oh, that's
ready for the
good.
reveal here? When you see me looking down, it wasn't because I was like looking at my phone or anything. It was I was trying to pull it up on the
Oh
laptop, and
my
I couldn't. And
goodness.
so
Oh my
I
goodness.
will
Congratulations.
put it up on the screen where
Oh
it's
yeah.
clear, because
Yeah,
you're looking at it on my goofy phone. But
Oh
I
my
love it,
goodness.
John.
so that's it.
Yes.
It's
Wow. That's what
classic.
I was gonna say. Congratulations.
It's classic. She nailed the gold foil that's not really gold foil.
Oh wow,
It
okay.
is. It's actually a picture of gold foil in a layer underneath, which
Oh,
I layered again and then turned a little bit and tweaked the
Oh,
lighting. And
beautiful.
but it, yeah,
Amazing. Amazing.
I love the lettering, the font you did, John, and
Mm-hmm.
I love the way you kept it really nice. And yeah,
Oh my
excellent.
goodness. Yes, excellent. Look at that.
Congratulations.
Yes, I love the collaboration. I truly do. To be able to work and work in an industry that you have the artist and the writer, both forms of art and creativity come together. It's a beautiful sight to see and to, be able to hear, how did you all meet? What was the creative process? And then here we are. You have the inspiration for someone else. Yeah,
I
yeah.
can feel how passionate
Congratulations.
you are about this, Mytecia.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Lovely. Yeah, I
Yes,
can feel
yes,
your
yes.
passion.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Yeah, I tell you, I'm excited to see what John does next with this work. So people
same.
can learn more.
I have nothing
Yeah.
else to say about it. Signa did a great job. It's been a crazy week.
Just
Yeah, it's incredible.
don't don't make it any. I did a drawing and I enjoyed doing it, and
Beautiful.
so yeah, I
That's
love my
beautiful.
job.
You can
It's a
tell.
good gift. You
There's
can, absolutely.
That's the other
That's
thing
wonderful.
that's important. You have to work with positive people, because if they weren't, then
Oh,
I think you said it. You have. I think we said it all
yeah.
already. But what you said, John, is the trust and how you deliberately didn't overbrief me.
Mm,
It just it's you know how to
wow.
deal with artists.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
I'm secretly a psychiatrist.
She
Uh,
said you gave her the freedom and the flexibility. So
yeah.
That's her
the
job.
creative freedom, come on.
I'm not going to tell
Yeah.
I'm not comparing an artist to an auto mechanic, but I'm not going to tell an auto mechanic how to fix my car, because I don't know how to fix it. Why would I tell a an artist that's going to create this beautiful piece of work. Why would I tell them how to do it?
I
Right.
think you can compare auto mechanic to artists because
Okay.
Wow.
I don't know what they are
Yeah.
doing. Sometimes something in my car breaks down and I have no idea that even was in the car.
I didn't know you had
Right.
a car. I thought you just had a
What
horse.
is
Uh,
what is
no,
happening?
I have a Swedish Volvo.
Of course
Oh
you do.
wow.
His name is Victor.
Okay, Victor.
That's
He's
wonderful.
blue
Oh,
and he's just outside the other window. The horses
oh
are
my God. The
there
horse is
and
on
the
one
car
side.
is there.
Okay.
Oh,
Thank you, Signa. And tell us something in your native language before say like tell us a proverb or something. Just tell us something in your native language and then hang up on us.
Oh my god. Okay, a native
Or
proverb
just anything.
in Frisian or in I'll do Frisian because I love Frisian. Friesland has its own language. So I'll say it in Frisian and hope there are some Frisians out there listening to this podcast.
Oh, I'm sure there are.
And it's one of the best and one of the favorites, and it's absolutely true. Here we go. Net Emilje voor de koffie.
Oh.
That's it. Goodbye.
What was it?
translation.
Do you? Am I going to give it away? Yeah. It means I can't. Emilje is hard to translate because it means nagging. No nagging before I've had my coffee.
Oh, I love it.
Oh.
Let me grab a cup.
Perfect. Thank you, Signa. You were wonderful.
Thank you.
You're
Yeah. Thank you
welcome.
so
Bye, you
much.
guys. Lovely
Yes,
meeting you.
enjoy. Yes.
Tot ziens.
Wasn't she great?
She is. My goodness. That's beautiful.
All right.
Yeah, great work.
I appreciate that you confirmed the don't switch to town.
Yeah, I'm glad that that's a definite decision. And the rest, will come. It'll be revealed as you revealed the cover, you know. It'll be revealed for you. A lot of times, I don't know, I just think when I'm in conversations with writers, you know, always going back to your original goal and staying married to your why. Why did I even write this? Why? And sticking with that and allow that to give you the energy and the motivation to keep going. Because there's always going to be something that comes up in the process before you publish. So just keep moving.
Wasn't
Yeah.
wasn't that conversation like this perfect I didn't do it. This perfect orchestration of
You didn't
three
do it.
personalities
Wow. It was a good one.
that no one would have ever even imagined in April when Emily was
Mm.
still here,
Oh,
when
my goodness.
at any point in the process, no one would have even imagined.
I love Emily.
I know.
Yeah, I just had to throw that in. I just had a moment. Yeah, love
I'll
Emily.
cut that out and make that a short and
Okay. Okay.
put it on a loop.
Yeah, I love
um,
him.
it like no, you couldn't even imagine. And speaking of how great Emily is, yesterday was really hard
Mm,
to cry with Stephanie instead of
mm.
Emily because Emily's used to
Oh,
me
wow.
after a year, right? And
Oh, good.
not that it was hard for me, like I wanted to hold it back, but we're
Yeah.
just different people, and Emily's used to me crying, not as much as I did yesterday, but Emily's used to me crying on the show when I get overwhelmed by something.
The healing. I
Yeah,
look at it as
and
healing.
again, I feel so selfish because I wasn't in the tornado. I was in one, and
Wow.
in 2021, I was in one,
Mm,
but I wasn't in this one.
yeah. Just a lot of love that you can, I don't know. I'm just thinking about how the power of prayer can heal from wherever you are. I believe that. You can send love and light and peace to that area as you continue to make your decision on the next steps. Like that's going to be healing for you. And at the same time, I believe that it will do the same thing, or even greater for those families in that community.
When you watch the thing that we recorded yesterday, you'll hear more. There's some terrible stories, but there's also
Mm.
some wonderful positive story that I
Okay.
put towards the end, and
Okay.
they're just so inspiring, and
Mm.
and I'm not changing the book. The book's done,
Okay.
man.
I'm
I'm
glad.
I'm not I'm not but I mean, I don't mean changing the town. I'm not changing my portrayal of the
Okay.
people, but it's added this extra weightiness.
Mm-hmm. But there's something there. And so once you move through this phase of the acknowledgement that there's something there, I believe you'll begin to start receiving insight into what you are to do with that. Yeah, it's going to speak directly to you.
You'll know when it happens, or
Mm-hmm.
the next day you'll be like, "Oh, that was the thing."
That was the come on, John. There it is.
And
Yeah.
but you don't know ahead of well, sometimes you know ahead of time, but and sometimes you know when you're in the middle of it. But more often than not, it was
Mm,
like, "Oh, that was the thing that was the fulfillment of the thing from 2 years ago or
that
one
was
year ago
it.
or whatever." Because everything happens for a reason. I like how these
Absolutely.
I like how I had these little those really are. I have I don't know a dozen life tenets or whatever, and she thought Signa thought they were so profound. I've been saying them for my whole life.
Right? It's important to people. That's what's so good about, what you all do here on this podcast is that you're just being yourselves. You are bringing information, resources, connecting people, having conversations and discussions about topics that are relevant at the time, but then at the same time, it's evergreen because you never know your listeners, how it will impact them, how it will move them. And even as a guest, she's like, write that down. I need a t shirt with that. And so I think it's important. And again, that goes back to your process in your cover reveal and how you move forward on this project. It's you said it and you said it so many times. It's not about you. Your responsibility is to manage and complete.
There will be
That's it.
people from 2 years from now who will search for London, Kentucky on
Yes.
YouTube, and this video
Mhm.
will come up, and
Wow.
right, and so they'll be like, "What's this guy talking about this goofy book for?" Well,
Let's send him a letter and thank him.
and
Do people send letters anymore? I don't know.
yes, yes,
Okay.
we we send. If you send us your snail mail address, we Emily and I still send Christmas cards, man.
Oh, I love it. I still send Christmas cards
Yep.
too. I don't know. We should have a podcast. You all should think about the love letters that are needed to get that back up. I just have something about love letters that I want to do to get people back in the groove, I guess.
All right.
Is the
So
word.
normally one of the segments that we cut out of this one is a call to action. Give the
Okay.
people, there you go, organically that the Holy
That's
Spirit
it.
dropped that in there. G- tell them what to do with the love letters.
Oh my goodness. So today, well, maybe not today. That's the professor in me today. But no, consider a list of three people that you just want to communicate with, and you want to communicate with them on some level that speaks to how you care about them, your compassion for them, maybe the work that you do, that how you're moved by them, and yeah, write them a love letter. It doesn't have to be long. It can be one sentence. It can be one word. It can be two paragraphs or even 3 pages. But be intentional. Within the next 30 days, go ahead and send out these love letters. And so, because we're in the digital age and because I teach media and entertainment, it can be a digital love letter,
I
just not a text
I think
message.
it should be handwritten on a piece of
Handwritten.
paper.
Can we write it on the iPad though?
No.
Okay,
It's
so
your call to action.
handwritten.
Yes, they can do it however they want. The important thing
Okay,
is
okay,
what they write.
okay.
But
Write it out and consider one of the three to be handwritten.
oh, there you go. So
One of the three.
y'all do that. Do what Mytecia said. Then let us know how it went. You can respond by going to writebettertogether.com/podcast, and you can put it in the show notes after this episode airs. We'll post it on Facebook, then you put it in the comments underneath Facebook. You can put it on under the comments on the YouTube, and wherever you put it, we will find it. And that was a great
Oh,
call to
good.
action.
I love it.
Thank you, Mytecia.
Thank you. This is always good. Even when we get together and take pictures at events,
Yep.
it's always good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Couldn't have done it without you.